Today, we are diving into the absolutely wild story of Susanne Wilson. This is a journey that starts in a very conventional, buttoned-up life and takes a turn that, honestly, it challenges everything we think we know about reality. And this quote, "This is pretty much the foundation for everything Susanne Wilson believes." But this isn't just some nice-sounding platitude for her. This is a core truth that she discovered during an experience that almost ended her life, but in a lot of ways, it's where her life truly began. So here's the big question, right? How in the world does a successful administrator at Stanford University, someone who spent her entire life trying to be normal, do a complete 180 and become a world-famous evidential medium? The difference is just staggering, and the story of how it happened is even more incredible. To really get this transformation, we have to go back, way back. Back to a time when her abilities weren't seen as a gift at all, but as a secret that she had to keep buried deep down. You see, from her very first memories, Susanne was different. She was born seeing auras around people, these colors and lights, and she just knew things before they happened. But being different gets you bullied in school, so she made a choice. She decided to hide it, all of it. She went down the most conventional path you can imagine. Degrees, promotions, a great career, but there was always this nagging feeling that something just wasn't right. And then, in 2007, a totally routine medical appointment went horribly wrong, and it became the catalyst for everything. A moment she never chose, and one she could have never, ever predicted. So she's at an allergist's office for some simple tests. And suddenly her body just goes into total crisis mode. This wave of pure dread washes over her. Her throat starts to close up. She literally described it as honking like a goose. The whole room just explodes into chaos as doctors are rushing around her. And then, right in the middle of all that panic, something really weird started to happen. As she's watching a doctor get an emergency shot ready, time itself just bent. Everyone and everything around her just shifted into slow motion, a classic sign of an out-of-body experience. That's when she heard it, a really distinct sound. She said it was like a champagne cork popping far away. But it wasn't a bottle. It was her consciousness, literally popping right out of her body. And from this new viewpoint, her reality just completely flipped. She's standing behind herself, watching this whole crazy scene play out. And the physical world, the doctors, her own body, it all looked fake, like cardboard cutouts she called one-dimensional, flat, shiny. But on the other side, she felt the arms of her grandfather, who had died years ago, holding her. She was surrounded by music and colors so real, so vibrant. She says they felt more real than anything in her life. Just as she was about to go towards that light and music, this flat, almost robotic voice just cut through everything with a really strange message. "Your work has not started." And with that, bam. She was pulled, as she puts it, unceremoniously, roughly, right back into her body. Now, you'd think an experience like that would be this moment of pure bliss and awakening, right? But for Susanne, it was the complete opposite. Getting back into her body wasn't a relief. It was the start of total and utter chaos. Because that NDE didn't just leave her with a cool story, it rewired her brain. Think about all the mental filters we build up just to function and feel normal. Hers were just blown to bits. Suddenly, her clairvoyant switch was flipped to on, and it was stuck there. She could see spirits as clearly as you and I see a chair in a room, and she couldn't turn it off. It was constant, it was intrusive, it was completely overwhelming. She got so desperate she started self-medicating with alcohol, just trying to find a way to make it all stop. So she was at a breaking point. How do you go from that, from being a victim of this new reality, to mastering it and turning it into your life's work? Well, it came down to 3 really crucial steps. First, she finally went back to the spiritual teachers she'd been seeing in secret for years. Second, and this was the absolute game changer, they taught her that she had personal sovereignty. She could actually control the input. She could set the terms. And third, she started using those professional skills from her Stanford days to create a credible, structured way to teach other people about all this. And she decided to focus on a very specific kind of work, evidential mediumship. This is so important. This isn't about giving vague, feel-good messages. It's about providing hard, verifiable evidence.
Names, dates, specific memories, facts that the other person can confirm, so there's no doubt in their mind that their loved one is truly there. So this entire unbelievable, chaotic journey, it all led her to a core belief that she now spends her life sharing. And it's a message that's not just for her. It's for every single one of us. Which naturally leads us to the biggest question of all, doesn't it? Is this ability to connect, to get a gut feeling, to just know things, is that only for a select few people who have some crazy, life-altering experience like she did? Her answer is a clear, loud, unequivocal yes. Absolutely. She firmly believes intuition isn't some magical power. It's a natural human sense, just like seeing or hearing. She thinks we've just been trained our whole lives to ignore it, to trust the spreadsheet over the gut feeling, and so that muscle has gotten weak. And you've definitely seen little sparks of it in your own life. You know, when you're thinking of someone and your phone buzzes and it's them, or that powerful gut feeling that just screams, don't do it. Those freaky coincidences that line up way too perfectly. According to Susanne, those aren't just random. That's your intuition trying to get your attention. The trick is to just start noticing it. Ultimately, her entire message brings us right back to where we started. Her belief is that we are eternal beings, and this life is basically a school with one main subject on the curriculum, learning how to love perfectly. And death isn't an end. It's just graduation day, where we take all that love and all that learning with us. And so that kind of leaves us with one final thought. After hearing her whole story, from hiding her gift to being totally crushed by it, and then finally mastering it, what if those little gut feelings, those weird coincidences in your life, aren't just noise? What if your intuition is trying to tell you something right now?